Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 210. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and informative show in store for you. But before we get to today's episode, I just want to give the BEB family a heartfelt thank you for supporting my new book, A New Black Wall Street. The book has been moving quite well, and I attribute that all to the BEB family. So I wanted to give you a public thank you for supporting me and the book. Now, anybody who's a new listener who's not familiar with the book, A New Black Wall Street was written to help build successful and sustainable e-commerce businesses in the Black community where we can actually do worldwide commerce and start spending money with other Black e-commerce businesses so we can circulate the dollar in the Black community. So if you are interested in picking up a copy, it's $14.95 and you can get the book at anewblackwallstreet.com. I don't have it on Amazon or anywhere else yet. I will be releasing that shortly on Amazon and also an audio version. I had several people ask me about that. So that's coming too. And my book tour is going to start in September, and I'll keep you guys updated with the tour dates and the actual schedule. I'm giving a thank you to all the BEB family, right here on the air. But I'd love to be able to meet you one-on-one at one of the shows or one of the tours and be able to thank you in person for being a supporter of the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint and myself, Jay Jones. So I just wanted to say that. I would be remiss if I didn't thank you guys, and I just wanted to make sure that it was known that I appreciate you guys and I love you guys, and I thank you so much for the support. Now, on to today's episode, how to prevent other people from determining your worth, 17 things you can do. How to prevent other people from determining your worth, 17 things you can do. Now, the only way that you really can let somebody determine your worth is if you're working as an employee right now. As an entrepreneur, you're going to develop and create your own worth. However good you are is what you're going to be worth. And so there's no middle ground. If you're real good, then you're worth a lot. If you're struggling and just starting out, you may not be worth that much at the present time. But the only way you can take control of that is by being in control of yourself, meaning working for yourself. Now, it's funny, when you work in corporate America, this whole process of somebody else determining what you're worth actually starts before you get a job. So when you sit down for an interview with that person or persons that represent the company or the individual that you be working for, they determine, number one, if you're worthy, to get this job. Number two, when you're going to get paid. And number three, how much you're going to get paid. So they determine what your worth is. Now, if I took a poll of 100 BEB family members and asked them, do you think you're getting paid what you're worth? I guarantee you 98 or 99 of them would say no, meaning that they feel that they're undervalued. And the only way you can get your true value is by being an entrepreneur. And I know there's a large faction of the show, of the BEB family, that are employees now looking to transition. There's another large faction, obviously, that are entrepreneurs already. And then there's even a faction, I've heard people, they've reached out to me saying, oh, I'm not interested in being an entrepreneur, but I like listening to the show. So they're all kind of different factions that listen to the show. But today, we're going to talk about 17 things that we can do to prevent other people from determining your net worth. Well, it's not net worth, your worth. And number one is you can start learning valuable skills that you can monetize. You can start learning valuable skills that you can monetize. So you can get these skills from your current job if you're working for somebody else. You can get it outside your job by taking classes or training, and you can read books. You can do online learning. So number one, learn valuable skills that you can monetize. And once you're able to monetize those skills, then nobody can determine what you're worth besides you. That's number one. Thing you can do, number two, is build your own ecosystem. And what I mean by ecosystem, let's look at a corporation as an ecosystem. It's self-contained, right? So the crazy thing is many people can fit into somebody else's ecosystem as a part of that system. So if you're in sales, you might fit into the company's overall ecosystem because you're a great salesperson. But that doesn't make you or give you the ability to create your own ecosystem. So you got to stop fitting into other people's ecosystems and create your own. And the way you control the entire ecosystem and the way you can determine your value is by starting your own. So that's the only way you can do that, by building your own ecosystem. So stop fitting in. You don't like the system you're in now? Get mad and then go create your own ecosystem. Because within that ecosystem, aka that company, your worth is given a certain dollar amount. And so unless you move up or move down or whatever, you're going to be privy to whatever dollar amount that company deems that you're worth. So number two, build your own ecosystem as opposed to fitting into somebody else's. Number three, always invest in yourself. And that's pretty self-explanatory. You always have to continue to learn more, because if you're not going forward, you're going backward. And I use the example of coal miners when Donald Trump is telling the coal miners that, hey, coal mining is coming back. It's not coming back, dude. What you should have said was, you know what, we're going to put programs into place to re-educate you to do a job that's viable in today's economy. Being a coal miner isn't viable in today's economy. So you always need to invest in yourself. So if you're at a job or a dead end position where you're not going anywhere or you can't see yourself moving up, invest in yourself. Take some online courses, go back to college or whatever. Do something to invest in yourself and better yourself, because if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. All right. It ain't no such thing as standing still. All right. Now we're talking about how to prevent other people from determining your worth. 17 things you can do. Number 4, leverage your time and use it wisely. And maximize your time. Don't waste it. And I always use the examples of these dumb video games. And I got it. If you got kids and you playing video games with them, I understand that. But as a grown man or a grown woman, when you come home and you get home at 5:30, you eat dinner by 6 o'clock, you on your PlayStation or whatever, and you don't get off until 11 o'clock at night. Yo, that's not leveraging your time wisely. The time you spent playing them video games, you could have had a master's degree or a doctorate degree. If you just shifted that focus from doing that to doing something positive and constructive, it's going to get you further. So leverage your time and use it wisely. All right. Thing number 5 you can do, think strategically. And I know people, they're using the thing now, oh, I'm playing people playing checkers and somebody else is playing chess. And that's fine and all. But I start to think about it like playing pool. So if you play pool, you're thinking 2, 3, 4 shots ahead. You understand the table. You understand where the balls are. You understand what your strategy is. So think strategically like you're playing pool. Be several steps ahead. Now, I'll give you a perfect example. When I had my alarm business and I was about to leave corporate America, what I did was, over a period of several months, I got all of the materials I needed to open my business. I got the desk, I got the phones, I got the computers, I got the signage. I rented out the office. So when I left corporate America, I stepped right into my business. So I was I was thinking strategically. I was playing pool. I was thinking 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. That way, I'm not always coming from behind the 8 ball, so to speak. So always think strategically. 6, always move with purpose. Always move with purpose. Don't do things just to do things. Always have a purpose. There should be a purpose behind everything that you do and say. No wasted energy. Always have a purpose. I know sometimes people get off track and off base. Keep your purpose. Whatever your objective is, always move with purpose. No wasted movement. I use that. I'm a big fight fan. I used to be an amateur boxer. And that's my coach always said, always move with purpose. Be deliberate. Everything you do and say, no wasted energy. Don't be over there dancing around doing the Ali shuffle. You're just wasting energy. So always move with purpose. Thing number 7 you can do. Know your tolerance level. So if you're looking to transition from employee to entrepreneur, you have to know what your tolerance level is. And what that means is, do you have the mentality or the mindset to go through what's necessary to be a successful entrepreneur? And really, guys, the only way you're going to find that out is by doing it. Because you can think about it all day, every day, but until you go and do it, you really won't know if you have the tolerance level. You probably will know if you don't, because you're probably very risk aversive. So number 7, know your tolerance level. Number 8, don't get pacified by the paycheck. All right. And remember, we're talking about how to prevent other people from determining your worth. 17 things you can do. Don't get pacified by the paycheck. A lot of times we fall asleep and we're solely reliant on that paycheck. And it's happened to myself. It's happened to other people. When I was making good money at one of my companies that I worked at, I was like, yeah, do I really need to go back out on my own? I'm making good money. Then something happened and I'm like, the light bulb went back off and I'm like, yeah, this is why I need to go back out. But sometimes we get pacified by the paycheck. I know people who I call reluctant entrepreneurs. The only time they think about entrepreneurship is when something is going wrong at their job. They're pacified by the paycheck. They don't have enough reason to say, you know what, I'm leaving this paycheck and I'm going to start my business. So number 8 is don't get pacified by the paycheck. Number 9, keep your hunger. And that's pretty similar to being pacified by the paycheck. But if you're making more than enough money at your corporate job and you really don't have a lot of gripes or whatever, then a lot of times you lose that hunger. Now I'm going to keep to the boxing analogy again. So any of you fight fans that knew former middleweight champion Marvelous Marvin Hagler back in the 80s, he said, it gets real hard to do road work in silk pajamas. Meaning when you've attained a certain level of success, it's hard to keep that hunger. So, but the successful people always have the hunger because it's not necessarily about the dollars. It's about accomplishment. So number 9 was keep your hunger. Thing number 10 you can do is take control of your life. And when I say take control of your life, and that's pretty simple, but it's the physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. You need to be well-rounded. You can't be a great entrepreneur if you're in physically bad health. Okay? If your mind isn't right, if you're depressed, it's tough to be a successful entrepreneur. Trust me. Been there, done that. All right? When I lost my mortgage business, I'm over there sitting on the couch looking at the ceiling, trying to put things together. But it was hard for me to think at that time. It was hard for me to think. So I always, right now, I want to make sure that my mental, physical, and spiritual are in order. Trying to be as healthy as I can. Number 11, and this is how to prevent other people from determining your worth. 17 things you can do. Number 11 is have plans A, B, and C. Always have contingency plans. So if this doesn't work, your fallback might be, you know what, I'm going back to corporate America. And that's a normal fallback. All right. So I'm going to invest this much time. And if it doesn't pop off by this time, then I can always go back to corporate America. So have plans A, B, and C. And one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur and starting out small is you have the ability to change direction or pivot very quickly and very easily because you don't have a large organization, quote unquote, ecosystem around you that has to change. It's like making a turn in a speedboat versus making a turn in a yacht. All right. So it's a lot easier. So number 11, have plans A, B, and C. Number 12, dare to be great and do something great. All right. And we're talking about how to prevent other people from determining your worth. When you start to open your mind to try to do something great and to dare to be great, your whole concept changes. Okay. So you want to expand your mental boundaries. You want to think big and create an atmosphere of success. So if you're just happy sitting in your cubicle and you're like, yeah, I don't like this job, but I can do it for another 15 years till I get my retirement, then you're probably not going to do anything. But if you dare to be great or dare to do something great, think big. What do you want to do? Dare to be great. And one of the biggest issues is that when you talk to other people about things like that, a lot of them are looking at you like you're crazy. Oh man, you got a good job here. You're making X amount of money. Yeah, but I'm not great. I may be great in my position, but I'm not daring to do something great. I'm not daring to be great. And a lot of that I think has to do with personality and confidence in yourself. So that's number 12. Dare to be great and do something great. Number 13, be consistent with your thoughts, efforts, and actions. And we're talking about how to prevent other people from determining your worth. Consistency. So it's not how fast, it's about how consistent you are, which determines your success. Now, yes, you may be governed by a specific timeline. So if you're starting a business and you only have 12 months of reserves that you can do this business in, you mean, yeah, I need to be consistent, Jay, but I need to do this within 12 months. But consistency with your thought, your efforts, and actions. And I want to unpack that thought thing first. Consistent, positive thought. Because there's always a transference of energy when you communicate with other people. That transference could be a positive transference or a negative transference. Have you ever had an argument with your spouse? You're doing great. Everything is a great day. You had an argument with your spouse, and now that negative energy that your spouse put on you brought you down. Or you were talking to somebody that was having a bad day, and your positive energy brought them up. So, you have to be consistent with your thought. Now, behind your thought comes your effort and your actions. So I always talk about, as an entrepreneur, we do three things: think, create, and execute. So behind that thought, you have to have effort and action, but you need to be consistent. So you don't wake up one day saying, oh, I'm going to start this company and I'm going to do this. The next day, oh yeah, I don't like that, I'm going to start this company and do that. You need to be consistent with your thought, efforts, and actions. Number 14, understand that accomplishing anything great takes sacrifice, and be prepared. Understand that accomplishing anything great takes sacrifice, and be prepared. And we're talking about how to prevent other people from determining your worth, 17 things you can do. And a lot has to do with the mindset. So when you're trying to do something great, when you're trying to leave corporate America and you're trying to build your own business, people are going to look at you cross-eyed. But you got to understand that accomplishing anything great takes sacrifices, and you have to be mentally and physically and financially prepared to do that. 15, make sure that you're climbing the right mountain. And I talked about this last week. So if you're going to bust your hump to start your own business so you can determine what you're worth and not let somebody else determine what you're worth, make sure you're climbing the right mountain. So when you get to the top of that mountain, You want what's ever on the top of that mountain. If you put all that effort and intensity and struggle and you get to the top of that mountain and you're looking at fool's gold, or you're looking at a result or something that you didn't want, that's wasted. So make sure you're climbing the right mountain. Number 16, enjoy the process of becoming better or becoming great. Enjoy the process of becoming better or becoming great. And I used to tell my girls this with field hockey. The drills, they're not sexy drills. You know, the dribbling the ball, the physical aspect, the working out, the running, the lifting weights. But once you learn how to enjoy that process and make a game out of it, the results will come. So if you do A, B, C, and D consistently, at the end of the period, you're going to be able to be more successful, because you need to start to understand to enjoy the process of becoming great. It's consistency and it's effort. So if you can make a game, I don't care what it is, if it's a sport, if it's your business or whatever, I don't care what it is, enjoy that process of becoming great. That's what makes you great, the process. The little things that people don't see you do make you successful. And number 17, blaze your own path and focus on you and not anyone else. Blaze your own path. Focus on you and not anyone else. It's not that, oh, well, such and such did this. So what? They're not you. Focus on your own path. So many times we want to follow a beaten path, even if that path takes you somewhere you don't want to go. You know, so you want to create and blaze your own trail. And the only person that knows where that trail goes is you. So be bold. You know, dare to be great. Blaze your own trail. And yes, you're going to get people to tell you that you're crazy, you're insane. I don't know why you're doing this. But you got to continue to blaze your own trail. So real quick, I'm just going to review how to prevent other people from determining your worth. 17 things you can do. Thing number 1, learn valuable skills that you can monetize. So if you learn how to monetize something, then nobody can tell you anything. Nobody's going to have control over you and tell you, oh, you got to be here at this time. You can't leave until this is done. And this is what you're going to pay. We're going to pay you. So learn valuable skills that you can monetize. Thing number 2 you can do is build your own ecosystem. Once again, that's basically meaning being an entrepreneur. So if you're working for a company right now, you're working in somebody else's ecosystem. And whatever goes in that ecosystem, that's what it is. You're going to take it and you're going to like it. All right, that's basically what they're telling you. Number 3, you can always invest in yourself, or always invest in yourself. Not can. You need to be investing in yourself, learning more skills, marketable skills, leveraging what you learn or what you take from your job. Always invest in yourself, because if you're not going forward, you're going backward. Number 4, you can leverage your time and use it wisely. And once again, we all get 24 hours in a day. It's a matter of how we use that time. All right, so don't waste it. You know, of course, you need to relax. You got to decompress. I get that. But sometimes you may not want to watch, or you may have to stop watching your show for an hour or 2 hours at night and get to work and do something that's going to help you move forward. Number 5, think strategically. You always want to think like you're playing pool, 2 and 3 steps ahead. All right, so think strategically about where you are and where you want to be. Number 6, always move with purpose. No wasted energy. There should be a purpose behind everything you do. So if somebody asks you, man, why are you taking these courses at night? There's a purpose behind that. Because I'm trying to make myself more marketable. I'm trying to learn something to take me to a different level. So always move with purpose. Number 7, know your tolerance level. So if you're looking to be an entrepreneur and shift from being an employee, you have to know what your tolerance level is. And most times you won't know that until you actually make that transition. Number 8, don't get pacified by the paycheck. All right. That's what happens a lot of times. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that become entrepreneurs because that paycheck stops coming. But while the paycheck is there, you're pacified. My brother is a perfect example. Psychologist, working for the state of Illinois for years. Got passed over for a promotion several times. They gave it to a younger person for half of the money, and he was tired. But he had always, for years, been talking about going out on his own. But he got pacified by the paycheck until that incident happened. And he was like, you know what? They really don't care about me. Let me go do my own thing. Number 9, and we're talking about how to prevent other people from determining your worth. 17 things you can do. Number 9, keep your hunger. Marvin Hagler said it's hard to do road work in silk pajamas. If you don't stay hungry, you're not gonna make a change. You see, human nature is a mother. The easiest thing you can do is quit. But the second easiest thing you can do is stay pat, meaning status quo. So if you don't have that hunger, you're not going to make any type of changes in your life, be it whatever. It could be losing weight. It could be entrepreneurship. I don't care what it is. You need to keep that hunger. Number 10, take control of your life. And I'm talking about physical, mental, and spiritual. It's hard to make moves if you're not healthy in any one of these, physically, mentally, or spiritually. So try to stay healthy, stay well-rounded, and try to take care of yourself, because without your health, it's very hard to do anything. So you need to stay healthy. Number 11, have plans A, B, and C. You always want to have contingency plans. Now, the plans don't have to be written out in book format, but you need to know, hey, if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. All right, if that happens, then I'm going to do this. So have contingency plans, A, B, and C. 12, dare to be great and do something great. Sometimes you got to get away from the people that you hang around with, and that means family too. Because once you start dealing and listening and talking to other people, then your mind expands. So you can sit there, if you're in a situation where you're comfortable, nothing's wrong, everything is okay, but there's more for you, then you need to dare to be great, dare to do something great. You're going to get pushback on this because most people, once again, human nature is one of the strongest things out there. Most people's nature is, if I'm okay, I'm just going to stay in pat. I'm going to stay right here. But those go-getters, those people that look to achieve great things, they always look for more. So dare to be great and do something great. That was number 12. Number 13, be consistent with your thoughts, efforts, and actions. Consistency wins. You can't wake up Monday and do 7 sit-ups and think on Tuesday you're going to have a 6-pack, right? It don't work like that. All right, you need to be consistent in doing your sit-ups, push-ups, whatever you're doing every day. Consistent with your thoughts, efforts, and actions. Your thoughts are key. If you're around people that have negative thoughts or negative energy, that's going to come into you. So if you're talking to somebody or you're close to somebody, your family member doesn't understand entrepreneurship or think it's pie in the sky, you don't need to have certain conversations with them, right? You want to talk about or talk to people that are positive. So, be consistent with your thoughts, efforts, and actions. If you're thinking about doing something, your efforts should be aligned with your thoughts, and your actions should be aligned with your thoughts. Okay? Number 14, how to prevent other people from determining your worth. 17 things you can do. Number 14, understand that accomplishing anything great takes sacrifice. So you need to be mentally prepared. People are going to come at you. When you're looking to be an entrepreneur, they're going to tell you, oh, you're crazy for leaving this job. Why would you do that? But you have to understand that accomplishing anything great takes sacrifice. Be prepared to sacrifice. Number 15, make sure that you're climbing the right mountain. So if you're going to put in all this effort and time and resources, make sure that you're whatever you're looking for is at the top of that mountain. You don't want to go up there at the fool's goal. Number 16, enjoy the process of becoming better or becoming great. The process of greatness is broken down into little steps. So if you can learn to enjoy doing or accomplishing those steps, then you're really enjoying the process of becoming great. Okay? And last but not least, number 17, blaze your own path. Focus on you, not anyone else. Don't count anybody else's money. Don't try to follow behind somebody else unless they're doing or are doing exactly what you want to do. But blaze your own trail. Be a pioneer. Create your ecosystem that's perfect for you. Okay? So you have to learn that whatever you want in life, and I know you guys know it, but you got to go get it. Nobody's going to give it to you. You know, think, create, execute. Think, create, execute. That's what a successful entrepreneur does. Only 3 things: think, create, and execute. The thinking part isn't that hard because we think all the time. Creating it is very hard, and probably the hardest part of that is execution, because we all have tons of great ideas, but we can't execute. So think, create, and execute. That's what a successful entrepreneur does. A successful entrepreneur does, obviously, you're going to do a little more than that, but that's what it really boils down to. Especially once you start, you're going to be wearing all types of hats. But if you always keep in the mindset that I need to think, create, and execute, then you're going to be successful if you can execute, if you can pull it all off. But how to prevent other people from determining your worth, 17 things you can do. And really, by doing these 17 things, you're insulating yourself from somebody else's determination of what you're worth. And once again, I don't know when this came about, but I guess it became easier for people hundreds of years ago to go work in the coal mine as opposed to going and foraging for their own food, doing their own planning and all that type of stuff. I don't know when it came around to become the norm that, okay, I'm going to go and work for a company and they're going to provide me everything I need, as opposed to you waking up, going and getting whatever you need for you and your family. And I guess it probably was easier. So I don't know, but that's just some internal thought I've been going through. And I just been thinking about it. When did that become normal? When did it become normal to rely on somebody else or some other corporation to feed and take care of your family? Now today it's the norm. But you have the producers and then you have the employees. You have the employer and the employee. Which one do you want to be? And what are you doing to get to that point? And so I know right now, I just had a conversation with a buddy of mine who left corporate America. He's floundering a little bit. Not exactly sure what direction he wants to go in. But I'm like, dude, you need to start figuring this thing out because you got responsibilities. You're over there playing golf 3 days a week. And your business is really not even a business. It's a hobby. So I'm like, yo, man, you got a beautiful wife and children, nice family. You got to figure this thing out. You don't figure it out on the golf course 3 days a week. You do that once you've made it and you figured it out. Some people put the cart before the horse. Yeah, you got a little money stashed away, but at the rate that you're going, bruh, it's going to be gone soon. So make sure that you do what's necessary to be successful. So how to prevent other people from determining your worth, 17 things you can do. And these are just 17 things that I came up with. But basically, you want to insulate yourself from being at somebody else's mercy. And the only way, family, you can do that is by controlling your own destiny. And I used to say it all the time. The way you can tell a true entrepreneur is when you sign the front of the check and the back of the check. All right? The front and the back. That's when you're a real entrepreneur. You writing your own paychecks. And I can't take credit for that line. my former business partner at when I had my mortgage business, we go into the bank one day, and there was a new teller in the bank that didn't really know us because we used to come in all the time. And so I gave her my check, and she noticed, okay, Jay Jones signed it for the company. Jay Jones signed it on the back. And she was like, I need to talk to my manager. And I was like, for what? She was like, well, it's the same name. And then that's when my business partner was like, yeah. So that's when you know that you're a real entrepreneur, when you sign the front and the back of the check. And that's the truism right there, family. So today's show, guys, how to prevent other people from determining your worth. 17 things you can do. Before we close out, guys, if you need to connect with me, hit me at jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Anything long, shoot me an email, right? Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, jjones001. Instagram, jjones for real. The number 4, REAL. YouTube, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Go check out my YouTube channel and subscribe. I got different content on YouTube coming out at least once a week. And if you want to be included in the BEB text line, text BEB, like Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, to 555-888. BEB to 555-888. See you same time next week, family. Love you guys. Peace.